popularity of comedy films, it looks like they were more popular in the early years, probably because it's harder to show a romantic love story or a dramatic action film with no dialogue. Nope, just laughing at a man falling down on a flight of stairs for an hour. Then comedy film can rely more on dialogue to create funny and awkward moments when they seem to be quite popular. Comedy in modern times seems to be a great way to connect with your family, whereas in olden times it wasn't acceptable due to the restrictions which were being held. Modern comedy is also including more nudity and drugs, perhaps because it's more socially acceptable nowadays because the body is being expressed in different ways, like art and protests. I have chosen two scenes which are similar yet set in different times. Airplane was set in 1980, whereas for 22 Jump Street was set in 2014. Though they have a huge gap between, they are somewhat similar in different ways. Airplane was involved many different types of props, such as guns, spanners, boxing gloves, and etc. Therefore, using props instantly makes it a comedy scene, considering it brings laughter to how these props are used. Whereas for 22 Jump Street, there's only one prop used, being a photograph of a chief's daughter. However, with the facial expressions of each of the characters used, you can sense an atmosphere already during the scene in 22 Jump Street. However, the facial expressions used in Airplanes are somewhat similar but expressed in different ways. The main character, who happens to be a girl, shows a more scared yet shocked expression, whereas for the rest of the characters show serious but funny expressions, as they are each lined up ready to the same process as the other characters are doing, but each carrying in different props. The setting in each film are completely different yet linked to what the storyline happens to be about. The location of the airplanes is shown in an actual airplane itself, therefore being linked towards the storyline along with the title itself. Being broadcasted in an airplane tends to set the atmosphere, therefore allowing the audience to follow along with the storyline, whereas for 22 Jump it's located in a more affordable yet updated location. Therefore, showing what has changed, also adjusting viewers to the local technology we have today, which they didn't have during the time Airplane was filmed. Both films don't tend to show a lot of offsetting film action, considering they show us what the character seems to be looking at, therefore already applying the picture to the audience's brain. The cinematographical in an Airplane tends to be mid-point shot, close-up, and long-distance shot. If you have different amount of camera shots being shown, it creates tension along with keeping the audience interested in, instead of just having the same shot throughout. Mid-point shots tend to mean it's a conventional shot, therefore allowing the audience to have visual of the character's costume. There is also close-up of the characters' faces. In my opinion, having a close-up allows the audience to have a clearer picture on what the actors' facial expressions, allowing them to see if they're funny or not. Also, having a long shot allows the audience to see visually with what the character is wearing, along with their body language, adding to comedy. Furthermore, the cinematographical in 22 Jump Street is similar to what the Airplane shows. There is mainly close-up shots during this scene where the two main characters are talking to their chief, allowing to show their facial expressions, already notifying this is going to be funny. Alongside of the close-up, there is a mid-point shot, therefore doing the same effects as to what the Airplane shots did, though showing them in different. The camera work has not changed throughout the years. In Airplane, sound is just used for realism, not comedy purpose. However, at the start of the scene, there is already a sound effect being used. Whereas for 22 Jump Street, the sound effects seem to be different due to the storyline being shown. When one of the characters starts fiddling with their bag, there seems to be an effect of the ripping, therefore creating a nervous or tense atmosphere, though the character's facial expression seems to be giving it away. With Monty Python and the Holy Grail, almost all comedy is visual. This could be a way of progressing from slapstick comedy when there was little no dialogue in movies. They would simply have to rely on images being shown to provoke a response from the audience. The most prominent shown in the Black Knight scene is the dismemberment of one of the characters. I know you're thinking what's funny about that, and if you're not, I insist you see a therapist. But the way the Holy Grail is handled is by having the knight act that his injuries are nothing but a scratch. This throws any and all predictions about the storyline out of the window and seems the comedy random and unpredictable as comedy should be. Another thing about the scene that gives it a funny aspect is the costumes. The only problem would be the horses, in fact there is none. Having the characters clop around, pretending they're on horses, gives the characters a brilliant, stupid quality to them, which is typical in comedy films. Seeing them in a serious medieval outfit, then run around like idiots on audience because the audience don't expect this sort of behaviour to come along from a king. Therefore,